Hello YouTubers. Today I'm going to show you how you can crochet a pair of winter gloves, or you can turn this into a shower glove for in the shower. This one here, the green one, is a small, and the pink one is it'll fit a medium to large size hand, and this is for adults. So let me put these aside and show you the items that you will need. You will need a pair of scissors. You will need a tapestry needle to sew it together. You will need crochet hook, and for the small you need a size H hook, which is a 5mm hook, and for the medium large you need a size I hook, which is a 5.5mm. I'm going to be demonstrating how to do the small one, so I need to use the H hook. So I'll set that aside. You need, I use Red Heart Super Saver 4-ply worsted acrylic yarn. I find that yarn, works best. But you can feel free to use any yarn you want, wool, whatever. It's entirely up to you. But for a pair of gloves, you need about 3 to 4 ounces of worsted weight yarn. And here's a little tip. I have mine in a ball. Here's a little tip, ladies. Here, take a bowl, any size bowl, glass bowl, plastic bowl, whatever your choice. Take an ordinary binder clip it on the side, pop your yarn, ball of yarn in, and feed the yarn through the top portion, the clips part that you squeeze together, and thread it through, and there you go, you have a yarn guide. Now let me set that aside, and here's my pattern. The only stitches that you will be doing on this is a slip stitch, chain, and a single crochet, and the whole thing consists of only 19 rows, so it's very quick, easy, simple glove to crochet. For a small, you chain 55, and for the medium large, you chain 63. So let's get started. Okay, ladies, so let's get started. So what you want to do is make a slip stitch here, and I'm making this small, so take my H hook, and you chain 55. You wrap it around and just pull it through. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, ladies, I just chained 55. Let me get some yarn out here. Alright, for row 1, what you want to do is slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. So this is 1 and this is 2. So you just insert the hook in, wrap it, and pull it through both loops. That's 1. You want to do that 7 more times, so 7 more chains, so that's 1. So it'll be a total of 8 slip stitches. So that's 1, 2, trying to do this where you can see it on camera, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and my 7th one, and my 8th one, my last one. Okay, and this is what you're doing here. All the first 8 stitches of either side, you will be doing nothing but slip stitch, and that is what makes the cuff portion here. That's what makes it look like the rib, like you knitted it. But instead, see, makes it look like you knitted, but you didn't. You're crocheting it. So let's move that aside. So you slip stitch in the first 8, and then you single in the next 38 chains, and then you slip stitch in the last 8, chain 1, and turn. So let me show you how to do a single, then I'll go off camera and complete the row, and then come back and show you for row 2. So a single, you just insert the hook into your next stitch, like this. Wrap it around, you pull it through, you have 2 stitches on here. Wrap it around and pull it through both. That's 1. You do that for 38 stitches total. So I'll show you again. You insert the hook into your next stitch, wrap it, pull it through, you have 2, wrap it around and pull it through both. So that's 2. I'll complete this row, then I'll come back and show you when I'm ready for row 2. Okay, ladies, I am back. I just completed row 1, and this is what it looks like. Here is our first 8 slip stitch, and then here's our 38 chains, and then here is our last 8 slip stitches. So row 2, let me mark off. I always mark off my rows so I know where I'm at. So row 2, you chain 1 and you turn. Turn your work and you start working back down. So now you do slip stitch 8, and from here on out you work only in the back loops only, and that's what gives you these ridges. So back loops only. So and you slip stitch. This is the only row that you are going to have a problem doing the slip stitches in, because you got to kind of turn your work this way, because this is your back loop. Here's your front loop, and this is your back loop. So you got to kind of turn your work this way a little bit and do your 8 slip stitches. So let me get my yarn here. Let me turn it. I don't know if I can turn it to where you can see it, but so you can insert it here, hold it down, wrap, and you pull through both the loops. And you do that for the 8. So that's 1. It's kind of hard doing it on camera at an angle like this. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And 7. And the last one, 8. So see, you can tell this is starting your ridges here, and this is the right side, and that's the side, the back side. So in row 2 is in the back loops only. You do 8, and then you do single in the 38, just like you did on your first row, and then slip stitch in the last 8. And you do that for rows 2 and 3. I will complete rows 2 and 3, and then I will come back and show you. Again, the pattern is slip stitch the first 8, single in 38, slip stitch in the last 8. Back loops only. I'll be back after I completed row 3 and ready for row 4. Okay, ladies, I just wanted to come back and show you on the ends of your slip stitches, it's very hard to, sometimes you can pick it up easy and sometimes it's hard to pick up your last bar here on your last stitch of your 8th slip stitch. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to take the hook and go from the top and pull up my loop so I can see my loop, and then I take it out and do my last slip stitch in the 8th. So that's 8. I completed row 3, so we chain 1 and we turn. Now we're ready for row 4, and now we are working on the ring finger. So as always, we slip stitch 8, and I will read you the pattern for it and then I will show you. So row number 4 is you slip stitch 8, or if you are doing the larger one, it would be 12 slip stitch. But I'm doing the small, so it would be 8. So you slip stitch 8, you single in the next 12 stitches, and then we chain 20. Then we are going to skip 14 stitches, and then we're going to single in the next 12 stitches, and then we're going to do our slip stitch into our last 8 stitches, and then chain 1 and turn. So let's get started on row number 4. First, I chain my 1, turn my work, and remember, back loops only. Let's do our, get a hold of my work here, slip stitch in the 8, so that's 1, 2, there, let me slide back here and do it, and then so I can do it faster here. That's my 3rd stitch, if I'm off frame, that's why. That's my 7th stitch, and also on your 8th stitch, sometimes it's a little small and hidden, like just that little trick. Just pull it up, and switch and pull it through. So that's 8. Now we do 12 singles, so in back loops only. So in, wrap, pull it through. You have 2 on the hook, wrap it around, pull it through both. You do that for 12. So that's 1, 2, 3, this is the 11th stitch and the last stitch. That's 12. Okay, so now we have to chain 20. So we chain 20. Just once. And 20. So now we chained our 20. We have to skip 14 stitches, so we count here. So this is, let me put my hook down so I can show you. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So in our 15th stitch, we do a single, and we do that for this stitch and then 11 more. So back loop only. So let's do our, let's get our work turned right. wrap and pull it through. And I do that for 11 more, so I have a total of 12 single crochets here. So that's 2, that's my 6th one, 7, 11, and my last one. And now I have 8, so let's count them. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we do 8 slip stitch to the end. And then we chain 1 and turn. Sometimes it's a little tricky because you get the other yarn caught. Oh, let me take that stitch, 2 stitches out. Let's try this again. Okay, now I'm ready to do the last stitch. Just turn it sideways, pull it. If you can't do it this way, then like the trick I showed you, pull up from the bottom. This one don't want to come up for me now. Alright, let me go off camera and do it, and then I will come back and show you after I get this last one done. Okay, maybe I was in frame. 8, sorry. Chain 1, turn. I always mark off my rows. Now, rows 5, 6, and 7 is identical. What you do is always slip stitch. Get my yarn. Slip stitch here in the first 8, and then you single in the next 44, and you'll be going across the chain. And make sure your chain is not twisted. Make sure you hold the chain like flat like this as you go across, and you back loop only. So like, which would be this one here. Let me take my hook out and show you. The top one right here, not the bottom loop, the top one. And you do slip stitch 8, and then you single in the 44, and then slip stitch 8, chain 1, and turn. You do that for rows 5, 6, and 7. I will do that, and I will come back after I have completed row 7 to show you what it looks like. Or I'll come back when I doing the chain, so you can see what it looks like on the chain. Okay, ladies, I am back to show you how to do the chain. So, back loop only, so which would be here. And the first one is a little bit tight. You might think you skipped it because it's a little bit confusing, but don't skip that first stitch. So, you go insert here, and make sure, like I said, ladies, that you don't twist your yarn and go from the bottom and when you think you're going through the top, because then you have to rip it out and redo it. So this is 1, which there, but you would have 12, so this would be my 13th stitch, and like I said, you do 44, so that's 13. Insert it in. 14. It's a little bit tough, but you can do it. That's 15. 16, 17, 18, 19, that's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Now see, I'm getting right here to the end. 31, 32, and now 33, which is back over here to where I did my 12 on the previous row. So that's 33. You continue to, you have 44. So I got 11 more to go. And then you do your slip stitch in your 8, chain 1, turn. And like I said, this is for rows 5, 6, and 7 identical. But I just wanted to show you how to do it and what it looks like going across the chain. I will come back when I have row 7 completed and ready to show you for row 8. So remember, the pattern is slip stitch 8, single crochet 44, slip stitch 8 for rows 5, 6, and 7. I'll be back when I've completed row 7.